I just won the Heisman Trophy my sophomore season, so going into my junior year, I'm the preseason favorite. And even though we had the best record in college football last season, we're nowhere to be found on the preseason rankings, and we're completely unranked going into this season. First game of the season against Arizona State here on the road, and we're already down 2 scores just here in the first quarter. From my freshman to sophomore year, I made a huge leap using my legs to make plays, and I just want to continue with that momentum going into this season. We have a few talented guys from last season who are still on the team, but some of these new guys are trying to step up and establish their place. And one of those guys who returned this season is one of my biggest playmakers on the offensive end, Jordan Porter. But I have to mention Lincoln Victor, a sophomore who was buried on the depth chart, worked his way up, and he's an absolute dog. Bro, this dude is an absolute monster. The separation, the breakaway speed, the strength, he has it all. He's not great at anything, but he's good at just about everything. Dan Guerrero, another guy who's buried on the depth chart, he rarely sees the field, but when he does, he steps up and makes plays. Under 2 minutes left here, we're down to score. We need to make plays, get out of bounds so we can make our way up the field and score. But that plan came down crashing and burning as I throw a pick to the defense that will ultimately lose us the game. Back-to-back undefeated seasons are officially out of the question. We played well offensively, but when it mattered the most, I made the biggest mistake possible. Our first home game of the season is a rainy one. We have a lesser opponent this week, but we have to step up and bounce back from that terrible L we took last week. My new and very explosive, very talented tight end, Caleb Mara, more like a receiver. He kind of reminds me of Travis Kelce. Jordan Porter just seems to thrive in these short distance situations. He's not a big play guy, but when it comes time to get into the end zone, he does exactly that. The work I put in to develop my speed and acceleration has been a huge part of my success since I've been in college, and it shows on a week-to-week basis. But with a guy like Lincoln Victor at receiver, I won't have to run nowhere near as much this season. His big playability is insane. But we can't forget about my boy Andrew Erickson. Last year, he had a historical season. He's looking to follow it up with another big year. A gutsy 4th down call here late in the 3rd quarter, but I connect with Jordan Porter to put up another touchdown and completely put this game out of reach. My offensive line was phenomenal today. I didn't get sacked once. They did their thing. First of many to come this season, but I received player of the game honors with 5 total touchdowns on the day. Big play A. My boy Andrew refuses to give up his #1 receiver title to anybody on this team. Only a few things are certain in life: death, taxes, and this read option working to perfection every time in the red zone. The blocking on this play is absolutely phenomenal. Swerving my way through traffic, diving into the end zone, taking a 2-score lead here early in the first. I spent the entire summer growing and building connections with all of my receivers, but Lincoln is just miles ahead of everybody else on this team. Earlier I said he doesn't do anything great, but extending and branching off of certain routes might be one of them. Lincoln scores another touchdown. We're up 21-7 under 2 minutes left in the first half, and look who I find wide open picking up yet another tub. But the moment Andrew feels like he's not the #1 guy, he's going to step up and make plays and remind us all that he is that guy. We get the blowout win over James Madison, and if I'm being honest, they have some of the best jerseys in college football. Only 10 incompletions on the day and just 2 yards shy of 100 yards rushing. Our first time in 3 years not playing Coastal at their home field. We got them at home and we're down 2 scores early. When I said Caleb Mara is the college football version of Travis Kelce, I meant that. That boy got wheels. Here, Coastal only rushes 3, but I knew it was only a matter of time before my short distance specialist Jordan Porter got open and he scores a awkward touchdown. You think by now these teams would learn when we're in that red zone, that read option is king. We run it to perfection once again, picking up an easy touchdown. If this were Lincoln and Andrew, this would have definitely been a house call, but Benji does a great job getting open and I put this ball in a bucket. And speaking of the GOAT of separation, I find Andrew wide open in the end zone for another touchdown. He never fails me when I need him the most. But we have to keep our foot on the gas. If we let up even in the slightest, Coastal will take the momentum back and they'll continue to do what they've done all game, and that's show up and make big plays. Back-to-back possessions with back-to-back 70-yard bombs. One to Andrew and now one to Lincoln. Please name me a better duo in college football. 30 seconds left. We're down 6 points. I drop back, launch this ball upfield, and Lincoln Victor is wide open. He takes this one in to win the game. We win our closest game yet against Coastal at home, and absolute dogfight. 558 passing yards, 6 total touchdowns, my best game so far this season, and we needed every bit of it. We got Nevada this week, and I learned my lesson last season. You cannot sleep on this team. Down 10 points here, 3 minutes left in the half. You know who I'm going to go to anytime we're within 20 yards of the end zone. But when I need a huge game-breaking play, you know exactly who I'm going to. My boy Andrew makes this catch in stride, breaks the tackle, and walks into the end zone for a touchdown. Bro, it just seems like every time Andrew makes a big play, Lincoln has to show him up with an even bigger play. He picks up a touchdown here as well, bro. This is insane. And you cannot forget about my boy Bobby Wooten. He hasn't made many plays so far this season, but you cannot sleep on him. He's liable to explode for a big game at any time. But unfortunately, under 30 seconds left in the game, down 10 points, I pick up the touchdown, but it won't be enough to overcome Nevada on the road. A very close 38-35 loss against a great Nevada team. We underestimated them once again, and they just came to play. Trying to bounce back from that L we took against Nevada this week against a great San Jose State team. Bro, my fullback takes off upfield, makes this catch in stride, and picks up 60 on the play. Can you believe that? The first half of this game was horrendous on both sides of the ball. We desperately need this touchdown. My O-line has done a great job in terms of protection. That allows guys like Lincoln to work their magic and get open. Y'all know I call Jordan a short distance specialist, but every once in a while he'll pop off for a huge play like this, picking up a great, much needed touchdown. Andrew is my number one, but when it comes to extending plays and just improvising and making something out of nothing, me and Lincoln are always on the same page. 3rd and 14, my boy Andrew runs an amazing route, creating a bunch of separation, and I put this ball right on his chest. We already made the comeback, but we put this game completely away with a bomb to the back of the end zone to the man himself, Mr. Andrew Erickson. We started out these last few games pretty shaky, but once we get into a rhythm, nobody will be able to stop us. Our struggles here early in the season really come from going undefeated last season, making it to the national championship, and there's that pressure to get back to that. But I understand what it means for a community to go from nothing to just about everything in a matter of a few years. But even though my focus is on winning big games like national championships and bowl games, I know that a winning culture is all this community wants. But not only do I want to meet that expectation, I want to exceed it. Give this community, give this team more than they could ever imagine. If anything within 20 yards of the end zone was a test, Bobby Wooten is for sure the right answer every time. By the way, Jordan Porter says hello. He takes off up the field wide open, absolutely burns this DB, picking up a huge touchdown. We already have the big lead, but to completely put this one away, Jordan Porter picks up his 2nd touchdown of the game. Me and the guys celebrate the blowout win midfield. We're kind of getting back to our true form slowly but surely. 17 for 28, under 300 yards passing though, but not a bad day at all. Is this season a failure? We're 5-2 coming off an undefeated season, and obviously you want to replicate that. Like, I know that 2 L's don't dictate an entire season, but 2 consecutive undefeated seasons would have been crazy. And I gotta say, everything about Wyoming's, from their uniforms to their facilities to their stadium, is just horrible. But no matter where we at, 87 gonna be making big plays, putting points up on that board. On the run, perfectly placed ball in stride with a defender in my face. Talk to me nice. So far here in this game, it's been absolute dominance. Coach is about to pull the starters, but I gotta put one more in the end zone to tuck this one away completely. We dapping their players up midfield. Coaches shake hands like we ain't just beat them boys to smithereens. Last season, they had us down 21-0 in the 2nd quarter. We had to come in here today to let them know this ain't that. Nearly 400 yards passing, only 8 incompletions, 5 touchdowns. What a day. Man, I haven't took off for a big run in a minute, so I think today against CSU was a great day to break off a big one. Statistically, Lincoln Victor is the #1 receiver on this team. He's leading in every single category. But I feel like so far I've been doing a great job getting the ball around, spreading it out, and just letting everybody get their shine. Like, even our 3rd and 4th receivers are making big plays, showcasing their abilities. And for the 3rd year straight, we're down to Colorado State right before the half. A 1-7 team. I don't even know how this happens. But going into the locker room tied with Colorado State is not an option. Throwing this one up Hail Mary style, caught for a touchdown. What a way to end the half. Lincoln scored on that Hail Mary, and then we come right back out after the half and he scores again. This dude is a machine, bruh. Haven't heard too much from Jordan Porter in a little minute, but my boy shows up here late in the 3rd quarter, picking up a huge touchdown. This game was a little bit shaky, but we gonna put this one away, and we finna get up out of here because ain't no way we finna struggle with 1-7 Colorado State. Get them out of here. Before we do, we gotta acknowledge this record I just broke. The most touchdowns in a game. I'm surprised I didn't break this earlier, earlier, but hey, we broke it down. 468 passing yards, 7 passing touchdowns. You want to talk about having a game balling out of this world. That good old blue Boise field. I kind of feel like I like Coastal's field a little bit better with the teal turf, but this one is clean. If I told you this man running this go route and making this diving catch was a tight end, would you believe me? His athleticism and versatility is crazy. Well, my playmakers out here today, check out Andrew making this nice catch in the back of the end zone for a beautiful touchdown. Thought he had them all, but Andrew breaks another record, the most receiving touchdowns in a career here at New Mexico. Bro, my boy is officially a legend. So I think today I'm gonna show him a little bit of favoritism. We built this program up over the last couple of seasons, and overall, that's just my dog. A 90+ yard rushing touchdown is crazy. The speed training, just the overall track work, and everything I've been putting into developing my speed is really paying off. This is easily the worst pass of my entire career, but when it's going to that guy, there's no such thing as a bad pass. I've set and broken so many records since I've been here in New Mexico. Why not break my own? 43 passing touchdowns in a single season. Down 1 point, under 3 minutes left in the fourth. You'd be surprised who decided to step up and make the big play. Mr. Bobby Wooten. I love coming here to Boise, playing them on their home field, dubbing them every single time. They put up a fight, but we are always going to come out on top. Boy, Utah State has handed us some L's in the past, so today we ain't playing no games. Feel like it's been a while since we ran that read option, but every time we do, you know it's money. It never fails. The protection this year from our offensive line has been sensational, allowing plays to just fully develop. Not being ranked this late in the season with a pretty good record is kind of discouraging, but understandable. I mean, there's multiple ways you can look at it. Our strength of schedule isn't great, but we only have 2 losses. I mean, we do play in a lower tier conference, so I can understand why, but at the same time, bro, do we have to go completely undefeated to get ranked? Usually Lincoln and Andrew are my only 2 playmakers sometimes, but Bobby and Jordan have been stepping up, making sure we don't forget their names. And like I said, from time to time, even our 4th and 5th receiver will step up and make a play. Shout out to Benji, bro. A beautiful stat line. I walk out of here player of the game, putting up crazy numbers. Bro, Hawaii's been having some good seasons lately. Them boys been balling. We played these boys back to back my sophomore season, the last game of the year, and then we played them in the conference championship. They the real deal. I believe Andrew's a complete receiver, but if he had that elite level of speed, bro, he would be unstoppable. He picked up 70+ yards on this play. But if Andrew makes a play, you know Lincoln is gonna step up and make one as well. He picks up the touchdown to cap off our big drive. Dan Guerrero, you probably haven't heard his name since week 2, 3. He's like the 5th receiver on the depth chart, but he steps up and makes a big play picking up the touchdown. All of my guys from top to bottom of the depth chart, they all got what it takes to be a #1 receiver. They got that dog in them. Not gonna lie, I wanted my boy Benji to get this touchdown because he was open, but this DB could have cracked his egg if he wanted to. But to put this one away like usual, y'all know who I'm finna hit, Mr. Victor himself, Lincoln. I had a really solid day, only 7 incompletions, 365 yards in the air, 5 touchdowns, and 94 yards on the ground. Been a few weeks since we played Hawaii, and now we got them in the conference championship, and surprise, surprise, we're finally ranked. They're not putting up much of a fight, being that we demoralized them last time we played. They already know that this is an unwinnable game. Something I thought I would never see my time here in New Mexico. Andrew's record he set last season was broken this season by my boy Lincoln Victor. Not 1, not 2, but 3 consecutive Mountain West Conference championships. Man, what a time to be alive. Running back out of K-State won the Heisman over me. I guess they didn't want to see me go back to back, but I should have definitely won the Heisman this season. Almost 5,000 passing yards, 58 touchdowns, and somehow I don't win the Heisman? That's crazy. Lincoln and Andrew are for sure going to be All-Americans, and Bobby fell just short of 1K yards, but taking a look at everybody else's stats, they balled out as well. The Las Vegas Bowl against number 11 ranked Oregon, easily the best team we've faced all season. A huge 3rd and goal situation. We need to get into the end zone, and somehow Jordan doesn't break the plane right here. Down 10-0, under 2 minutes left in the first half. We finally get into the end zone, and I break another record. The most passing yards in a single season in school history. I broke my own record that I set last season. We've just been going crazy. We're in the 3rd quarter, and this game is slowly starting to get out of hand. This is a very tough team to keep up with. But before me and my dogs bend a break, we're going to come out here and give our best effort and do everything we can to win this game. Going into the 4th quarter down 17, our biggest player today finally opens up in Jordan. Gordon drops the ball. But on a very identical play, I find Lincoln up the field for a touchdown. I knew he wouldn't drop the ball. I trusted him with my life on this 4th down. And with that, we set a new NCAA record with 61 touchdowns in a single season, breaking Joe Burrow's record of 60. We're out here fighting for our lives in the 4th quarter, making big play after big play, but time is not on our side. Oregon takes the dub, and for the 3rd straight year, we take a heartbreaking loss to cap off our season. It might be time for me to get out of New Mexico.